Hi everyone, I'm Teslyn Land. Welcome to Dear New Nurse. I am so glad that you have ran across my YouTube channel, which means you are most likely a new graduate nurse. And if you are, welcome. So this video is entitled How I Passed the NCLEX with Only 3 weeks of studying. So just a disclaimer here. By no means am I saying you can study for 3 weeks and pass the NCLEX. The title of the video is just to show that this test is easily passed, that you can pass the NCLEX if you commit yourself to studying for however long it is that you need to study. So let's jump right in. You probably just graduated from nursing school, so I want you to go ahead and give yourself a round of applause. I mean, that is like absolutely amazing. If you can pass nursing school, you can surely pass this test. So I want you to go ahead and just get that in your mind. I want you to even say it with me. I can surely pass this test. All right, good job. So what is the NCLEX? The NCLEX stands for the National Council Licensure Examination, and it's the test that you have to take to become a registered nurse in whatever state you may live in. You all take the same test, so it doesn't vary from state to state. The NCLEX is a computerized adaptive test, which basically means it's set in an interactive format in which questions are given to you based on how you've answered the question. So if you answer, if they start you at a level of competency that is pretty easy and you answer those questions correctly, then the questions will build in difficulty. So basically the NCLEX is set up or designed to help you pass. This test is not designed to help you fail. No, it's designed to help you pass. So the test is 265 questions and you get 6 hours maximum to answer these questions. You can either answer a minimum of 75 questions and pass or fail, or you can answer a maximum of 265 questions and still pass or fail. So, you just never know. Just because your test shuts off at 75 questions does not mean you passed. And just because your test shuts off at 131 questions or 200 questions does not mean you passed as well. So the test is designed to help you pass, and the questions that are given to you are based on the previous questions that you've answered, whether you've answered them correctly or you might have gotten the wrong answer. So throughout nursing school, we're used to getting these knowledge-based tests, right? We're used to studying all the things and reading all the chapters and learning all the things. But the NCLEX is a totally different ball game. The NCLEX is not so much knowledge-based, but it's more so critical thinking, skills, and testing your nursing judgment. So it's a little bit different than the test that you've taken in nursing school. So what I'm here to do is give you some surefire tips to help you pass your NCLEX on the first try. So my first tip is to mentally prepare yourself for the NCLEX. I want you to think positively. I want you to wake up every morning that you are preparing for this exam and declare some positive things over yourself. I want you to say, I'm gonna pass this test. I'm gonna do well. This test is not hard. I've made it through nursing school. I'm gonna pass with flying colors. Whatever positive thing that you wanna say to declare over yourself, I want you to wake up and say that before you even pull out your books to study for the test. If you can get yourself to think positively, then you'll get positive outcomes. You'll see positive results. So I want you to get your mind to think positively about this test. The worst thing you could do is go into studying for this test with a lot of stress and anxiety from things people have told you over the years, from horror stories people have told you, on failing the NCLEX or the content on the NCLEX was nothing they learned in nursing school. I want you to like sweep all that negativity away. And I want you to wake up every day before you prepare for this test and speak positive declarations over yourself. There's so much involved with speaking positive words over yourself. You will see those things manifest naturally when you're speaking those things in the atmosphere. So think positively, get your mind prepared for studying for this exam. My next tip for preparing for the NCLEX is to use resources. I personally, and this is not an ad, I use the Hearst Review. You can go ahead and Google that, search it on the internet. I think that course was absolutely amazing. So I took the Hearst Review. You can find out a little bit more about it on their website, but I'll go ahead and tell you just a little bit about it. It was a 3-day live course. Then after that, they gave you materials, including online materials, videos, booklets, and everything that went with that, as well as practice tests to go home and continue your NCLEX preparation. So in those 3 days that it was live, it was amongst your other peers who signed up for the review course as well, which was pretty much over half of my class. And then it was 3 days with a live Hearst Review instructor that went over pretty much every aspect of the test. And they really got into the format of the test and broke down how to answer those questions. So though it contained some content and knowledge, it was more so focused on your skills in nursing judgment so you can be prepared for the NCLEX. So I highly recommend the Hearst Review. There's also Kaplan as well. I didn't do much research on Kaplan, but at that time, which was in like 2015, a lot of people were saying Kaplan contained a lot of content. So I'm not sure how true that is, but I knew I needed something that would help me with my test taking skills. I was good at learning content and knowledge, but when it came to testing skills, that was one of my weak areas. So I knew I needed a course to help me in that. Now, am I saying that you really need to purchase a course and do it? If you feel that you can get away with studying on your own and purchasing your own resources, by all means do that. But I personally needed a course that would show me how to take this test and how to answer those questions. And I also supplemented my Hearst Review course with purchasing a book that contained practice questions for the NCLEX, which I'll post below in the details so you can go out and look for that book. It was an amazing book that one of my nursing classmates had sent me that she was using to prepare for her NCLEX. My next tip in preparing for the NCLEX and passing successfully on the first try is to get a schedule in place. And you want to keep the same schedule because it just helps and it makes you more productive and you yield better results from having the same schedule. So my schedule was to study from 9 to 5 on Mondays through Fridays. And on the weekends, I only studied for about 4 hours from maybe like 9 to 1 or 8 to 12 or something like that. But I kept it the same throughout my preparation for the NCLEX. So get you a schedule, get you a planner or calendar, whatever works best for you, and write down your game plan, your schedule, and stick to it. Now, I only studied for 3 weeks total for the NCLEX. I had planned on studying for a month and a half to 2 months, but life happens and it just didn't happen that way. And in the middle of my studying, I had a vacation already planned from a couple months prior to that. That I still went on, and it was very difficult to study on that vacation. So those 3 to 4 days I was on that vacation, I really didn't study, which ate away from some of the time that I allotted myself to study. So I ended up studying for 3 weeks. And again, by no means am I saying you should only study for 3 weeks or you only have to study for 3 weeks for this test. No, you know how long it's going to take you to prepare for a major exam. So stick to that. If that's 1 month, If that's 2 months, if that's 3 months, whatever it is, stick to your plan. Don't go by my title. My title is just to show you that this test can be passed on the first try. And it is not what people who might have not done well, or even who may have done well, crack it up to be. It can be passed. If you made it through nursing school, you certainly can pass this test. And lastly, as they say, practice makes perfect. It is true. Practice, practice, practice. Like, I don't know how I can nail that into your head even more. Content is good, but you need to pull out some practice questions and do some every day. Now, when I had my practice book to supplement my Hearst review, I probably answered maybe 30 questions a day. I wish I would have done it sooner, because I started to answer the practice questions towards the end of my studying. But had I been answering those practice questions at the beginning of my preparation, I probably would have done even better. But definitely get that book that I'm going to put below in the details under the video. That is going to help you, as well as whatever resources or other resources that you're using to prepare yourself for the NCLEX. Definitely practice. The Hearst review gave us 6 or 7 practice tests to do. And I kind of spreaded those practice tests along my studying for the NCLEX. And avoided doing a practice test the night before the NCLEX. You definitely don't want to do that. So definitely set it up where you are doing practice tests along your preparation. And you want to evenly space them, because you don't want to wear yourself out. But definitely put some practice in. Do your practice questions, do some practice exams, just practice, and you'll start to learn the format of the test. It'll make you more comfortable the day of the NCLEX, and you will be successful. So those are all of my surefire tips to help you pass the NCLEX on the first try. And I really, really hope that you implement them into your preparation for your NCLEX exam. And I know you will do very well, and you will be successful, and you will pass on your first try. So if you have ran across this video and your NCLEX exam is coming up in a week, 2 weeks, or a month, I want you to definitely take these tips and implement them into your preparation for the NCLEX exam, and also let me know how it goes.